Dear students, it is the fourth video for the week 9th, and we are covering multiple dimensions of the Pakistani economy under the different heads. In the previous video, we talked about the three major components like labor and taxation. Fine. Now we are going to talk about transportations and telecommunication. Well, transportation and telecommunication is a landmark need or the major component of the progress and prosperity. Two things in the business counts very well. Number one, uh, transporting the prepared goods to the market. Number two, connecting with your employer or your customer. Fine. So these two major things are important. Since Pakistan came into being, the infrastructure building was quite poor. There were no roads, only the railway system was well, but unfortunately, the railway could connect simply the major cities of the subcontinent, whereas even the main cities were away from the main roads. Might be there was a single road that would lead, and it continued till 1980 and someone. Clear? If the people who have, you might have heard from your uh, grandfathers or even from your fathers that how would they travel from for example, if you ask your father that how they would travel from Peshawar to Lahore, how many hours would take, how many transports they would have to change, what kind of troubles they had to face while traveling to those destinations. Fine. And they would tell you really the horrific stories that since how they would start, they would tell you that going to a 50 kilometers would take the entire day. Fine. So then you ask them that if some person has got to go to abroad, how would he move? They would tell you that the ships were the airports were far away from the mainland, from their destination. They had to go leave the house for 2 days or three earlier than their flight was confirmed, and then they go to the major cities like Lahore, like Karachi, Peshawar. Fine. And on the other end, second important thing is the telecommunication, that the interaction and exchange between the individuals within the state and the people for the working outside, they are the wonderfuls. Fine. And you are be amazed that in the past letters were written, posts were made, and it would take months to reach from one place to another, and the business were very uh, less. But in 1960s onward, with the invention of the development of airways, clear, development of new ferries, boats, frigates, clear. Then in 1970s and 80s, internet invention, computer, fine. They brought a basic change in the infrastructure of the countries. Fine. Transport and telecommunications spread quickly, especially if we talk in terms of the South Asia, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. They uh, exuberantly progressed in the road construction. The first road construction history is traced back in Ayub Khan time, but the second main road construction was taken uh, due importance in the times of General Pervez Musharraf. He constructed the roads. He gave the slogan from from field to the market, that the field production means the vegetables and fruit and other things which were produced, and they were the laborers, the producers, the farmers were unable to take their fruit and vegetables and other products to the main area just because of the less transportation. Fine. And this is how in mean extremely valuable vegetables and other things were couldn't be sold out to the other world and the country, and so were the laborers remained at the low. But in 2000, the development in the uh, transportation and telecommunication was exuberant. The wonderful example of the construction of motorway. It was a mega project by PMLM, Mia Muhammad Nawaz of the time, and although he faced lots of criticism, but still that was a mega project that ensured the transportation for the general people as well as the transportation of goods from all and nook and corners of the country. Second, on the same concept, when Chinese came with a mega project of the CPAC, now the CPAC roads have been constructed and connected with the motorway, and the entire country is going to be connected with the finest motorways. Fine, you have seen that when the motorway was constructed and the highways were made better, the better opportunities for the worker. You see hotels and motels and many other businesses are being run on the motorway. Fine. Now you start traveling from Peshawar and go to Lahore. You will find that entire of your motorway, whether you go through GT road or motorway, both sides you find that the business factories and hotels and motels are there, and the people are uh, uh, getting more and more livelihood out of them. Fine. So this is a wonderful step that has been taken. And the telecommunication in Pakistan, only PTCL and other companies were working, but since 2000 the PTA was established, and the uh, licenses to give were provided to the other cellular companies like Jazz, Warad, Paktel and many others. They came and they revolutionized, and backed by internet provision, no, the entire country has been transformed into IT oriented country. And you will be amazed that Pakistan, India and Bangladesh, and especially in context of Pakistan, Pakistanis earn a lot through internet, doing as a freelancing. Let's read this. Transportation and telecommunications. Buses and trucks have di- displaced rail as principal long distance carrier. A program of deregulation of the road transport industry was undertaken in 1970 and encouraged the entry of a large number of independent operators into the sector. Trucks and tractor drawn trailers have largely displaced the traditional bullock carts for local transport of produce to markets. But in many rural areas, animals power is still crucial to economic survival. Air transport of cargo and passengers have become increasingly important. All the main cities are connected by the major highways, and Pakistan is connected to each of the neighbors, including China, by road. The great majority of roads are paved. The country's main railroad route runs more than 1,000 miles, almost 1,600 kilometers north from Karachi to Peshawar, while Lahore and Rawalpindi. Another mainline branch northeastwards from Sakhar to Kuwait. Fine. And contributions of the air. Pakistan International Airlines (PIA) established in 1954 in as a national carrier. In the mid 90s, it was the sole domestic carrier, but since then, a number of small regional airlines and charter services have been established. PIA also runs international flights to Europe the Middle East, Africa, East Asia, and as well as in the neighbors of Afghanistan. The principal airports are located at Karachi, Lahore, Rawalpindi, Quetta, Peshawar, and Port Qasim, Gwadar. Fine, and this is a huge details, but you must be amazed that Pakistani air transportation was unfortunately met with mismanagement, corruption, negligence, and now the most efficient services of the world is the worst one. And this is a huge loss to the Pakistani economy. Fine. And next is IT and the software industry. IT and software industry is a wonderful opportunity, and it has increased the technical manpower and the demand in the world. Clear? A manual labor work doesn't earn much, whereas the technical labor earns a lot. Thereby, Pakistani professionals, especially in the IT, they earn a lot. Clear? Since government has taken serious action and the software export board has been established in Pakistan in 2016 and 2017. Thereby, for the last 5 years or so, IT was the most flourishing area in academia, industry, and practice. The IT engineers have been consumed nationally and internationally. Fine. In short, Pakistani economy is has the potential because it has the young laborers, resources, fertile lands. Fine. The only thing we miss is lack of vision, lack of leadership, intervention of the uh, departments into one another, and some external elements that want to destabilize Pakistan. Against all these odds, we have to keep unite and work for the betterment. Thank you very much.